Hello. How's it going today? Welcome to your Wednesday Vinyasa Flow. We have a half an hour. So as we wait for people to trickle in, I just invite you to get yourself settled however you like. I do suggest, I've been using cans of beans as props. So any kind of cans you have, just in order to bring the floor a little bit closer to you, can be helpful. Also, I have a blanket as well. So if those things interest you, feel free to go grab those. We're gonna get started in just a couple minutes. So if you're all settled and ready, you can just begin in any kind of comfortable seat. So whatever that looks like for you. You can sit on your props or your blanket. You can be kneeling, you can be cross-legged. Anything goes, just rooting down, maybe peeling that flesh out from underneath your sit bones. We'll be doing a focused Vinyasa flow with emphasis on our hamstrings today. So the hamstrings, if you're unfamiliar, are the three muscles that run along the backs of the legs. We tend to be overstretched in our hamstrings when we practice yoga very often. So I'm gonna bring a little bit of that contraction back in so that you can have a safer stretch. You want to think about your muscles like an accordion. So the more that you contract and pull, the stronger that they'll be, so that they have that opportunity to grow safely and to stretch safely as well. So we'll get this show on the road here. So bring yourself into your comfortable seat if you're not there already, and let your palms either fall on the knees. You can flip them up to the ceiling if you need a little bit extra energy today, or you can even keep them in the lap if that feels best. And close the eyes, taking this moment here just to settle into your body. Observe what's going on from head to toe, how the crown of the head stacks over top of the spine, just that little bit of a lean back, shoulders maybe rolling up the ears and then down the spine. And soften the face, wiggle your jaw out. I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to carry a lot of stress and anxiety in my jaw. So this past month has been a really big exercise in letting go the tongue from the roof of the mouth, the furrow between the eyebrows, and just settling softness into the face. Begin to observe that breath. Just seeing where it is that the breath flows in and out from today. And if you feel like you're kind of stuck in the chest, just begin to very gently direct that breath lower. Breathing down, space across the hip bones, breathing down into the lower pool of the belly, feeling that deep expansion as the ribs maybe find some separation. And with the exhales, you're using the strength of the core, just slightly pulling that belly button up and in to squeeze the stale air from the lungs. And again, inhales, full expansion, really fill that low part of you. And with your exhales again, squeeze the air from the lungs. Continue to find that breath, settling into a pace of breath that feels like more ease than effort to you. And we'll come together for one united breath. So wherever you are in your breath rounds, take an exhale to cleanse the lungs. Full inhale through the nose. And sigh out the mouth. Taking the chin in towards the chest. Flutter the eyes open with a couple blinks. And bring the gazes back forwards. So make our way into our tabletop. So in your tabletop, spread your fingers wide, palms underneath of the shoulders, knees underneath of the hips. A little bit of a tuck of the tail so that the belly is turned on here. And with your next inhale, allow the belly to drop. Taking the gaze and the tailbone up towards the ceiling, find space across the chest. And with your exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin in towards the chest, find that hollow belly sensation. Inhale again, belly drops, gaze is forwards, tail is up. And again, exhale, round that spine, tuck the chin in towards the chest. Close your eyes and continue to move. And just find free movement on your mat here. Bends in the elbows can feel good. Barrel rolling the chest. Exploring all four corners of your mat. Just make it like a hybrid of cat and cow, of all of these beautiful movements. Just seeing where you feel restricted versus where you feel nice and open, nice and free. And just playing with your breath. Let your breath guide you, no rhyme or reason, just seeing that free form. Another 3. Another 2. One more.
Beautiful, coming back into a neutral style of tabletop. Curl under both sets of toes so you have stability behind you and slide just the right toes to the back of the mat. So toes still touching down to the floor to begin here. Now pull in the low belly. It's very typical for our low back to sway here. So really get that engagement in the low core and then slide the left fingertips to the top left corner of the mat. Once you feel nice and stable here, if you have a sore wrist, you can always come onto a fist instead. But if you're okay, claw into those right fingertips, float the left fingers and the right heel. So you're a nice long line of energy here. Engage that belly. Notice if you've dipped into the low back. See if you can reignite your core. Big inhale. And exhale, round. Elbow to knee to elbow. 2 more. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, round and squeeze. Good. Last one. Inhale, reach. And exhale, round. And this time, inhale, reach and lengthen. Place that left palm back down to the floor. Bend the right knee at 90 degrees. So like the sole of the right foot is going to press up towards the ceiling. And as though you want to press up through the ceiling through your right heel. We'll push here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that squeeze. Take a big breath in. Exhale, curtsy. This time, drop that right knee to the outside of the left. Squeeze to the glute as you inhale, lift. Exhale, curtsy, drop to the side. Good. Inhale to lift. Exhale to curtsy. 2 more inhales. And exhales. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good. This time, inhale, lift and hold. Engage that low belly. You can stay here, or maybe you're floating that left palm back forwards here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Palms down, knees down to the mat. Give yourself a round of cat-cow or free form just to rinse everything out. Maybe you're dropping back on the heels, rolling up the wrists a little bit, and a little bit of a child's pose, just letting go of that work. Notice the warmth that you feel in both sides of the glutes. And then coming back into your tabletop shape. Curl under both sets of toes. Slide just the left toes back. So hitting up the other side, low belly engaged. Low back is nice and strong. Slide those right fingertips to the top right corner of the mat. And then when you feel stable, float fingers and toes. Good. Work on wrapping that left hip down. Toes, if you look behind you, should be turned straight down towards your mat itself. Take a big breath in. Exhale, round. Elbow to knee to elbow. Good. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round. Inhale to reach. And exhale to round. Good. This time, inhale, reach and hold, but place your right palm back down to the floor. Bend that left knee at 90 degrees. Sole of the left foot pressing up to the ceiling. We're going to kick out the ceiling here for 5, 4. Really squeeze that glute. 3, 2. Hold the squeeze. Big breath in. Exhale to curtsy, dropping the left knee to the outside of the right. Good. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, curtsy, drop to the side. 3 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, curtsy. Good. Last one. Inhale, squeeze. And exhale to curtsy. This time, inhale, squeeze and hold. Engage that belly. Maybe staying here, or maybe float those right fingertips back forwards. Here for 3. Here for 2. And 1. Palms down, knees down. Roll up the wrists here if you like. Take it into a child's pose here if you like. Just see what feels good to reset. 1 more big breath in. 1 more exhale. And floating back into your tabletop position. Curl your toes under and lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Now you might have to walk the toes back a couple inches. Make sure you have a good amount of space between your hands and feet in your downward facing dog. And you'll pedal at the feet and sway the hips. Shake out the head, yes and no. Big eyes of the elbows, slightly rotating forward so that you can pull the shoulders down the back. And if you feel like you're rounding through the spine or your wrists feel sensitive here, bend the knees and send the tailbone high as the chest falls towards the thighs themselves. Check in with the low belly. Make sure you have lots of engagement in your core. Here for 3. Finding stillness in this first down dog for 2. And 1. With your next inhale, lift the hips and heels high to the ceiling. Stretch the arches of the feet. And exhale, settle the heels back down towards the floor. This time, inhale, lift the hips and heels, ripple forwards into high plank, shoulders stack over top of the wrists. And with your exhale, pick your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. First vinyasa. Inhale, ripple it forwards into high plank. Belly stays so strong here as you lower halfway, elbows tight to ribs, chaturanga. Inhale to press the heart up, upward facing dog, tops of the feet on the mat, shoulders back. And exhale, pick up from your hips, pick up from your core. Downward facing dog. Once you're back in your down dog, big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Oops, I hit my drawer. Good. Once you're up in your three-legged dog, wrap that right hip down so it's level with the left. Pull the low belly up and in. Keeping a strong, straight right leg. Let's pulse out the heel. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that squeeze, big breath in. Exhale, nose to knee to nose, round it forwards in your high plank. Inhale, extend, three-legged dog, push through the heel. Exhale, second round, nose to knee to nose. Good. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, third round, nose to knee to nose. Good. This time, inhale, press through the heel, step it back, and then step those right toes all the way forwards in between the palms. Now, set the left knee down to the mat. If you have sensitive knees, you can use your blanket, but I do suggest rolling your mat underneath of your knee because we're going to work into our hamstring a little bit here. So once you have your support with your mat underneath of your knee, bring yourself, by pressing yourself up with the palms on the thigh. Now, before we settle into the low lunge, pull the low ribs in, engage the belly, hands to the hips for a moment to hug that right hip back and the left hip forwards. Now with the hands on the knee, allow the hips to settle forwards. So you can stay here if you're feeling good. If you want to get a little bit more into that hamstring, drive that left heel up and towards the glute. Engage through that belly, holding here. If you have more space to play with, maybe the fingertips lift. If you'd like to challenge your balance, maybe the gaze goes between the hands. Here for another 3. Here another 2. And 1. Palms come down to the mat. Unroll that mat out from underneath of your knee. This is where those cans might come in handy as you rock the hips back into a half split. So if the floor is far away, you can use the cans or whatever blocks you have to bring the floor to you. If you're feeling like you have room, fingertips can rest. Hugging that right hip back in space, the left hip forwards. Take an inhale to roll the spine up. And exhale, think cow pose as you belly first fold. Good, 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale, belly first as you fold. Good, last one, inhale. Exhale, belly first as you fold. Good, drag the heel slightly back, sole of the foot connects with the mat. Curl the back toes under and spin your way to the long end of the mat, arriving in a wide-legged forward fold. So in your wide-legged forward fold, match up the heels, turn the toes slightly in so your knee stays safe. Walk that heart forwards, lengthen out the spine, inhale. And exhale, 90-degree bend towards that left thigh. Good, inhale, flow back through center. Exhale, 90 degrees to the right thigh. You can keep your fingers on the floor if you like. If you want more challenge, palms to heart center. Continue your flow from side to side, just honoring your breath. If you'd like more challenge on top of this, stretch your fingers straight overhead as though you're holding a block above the head. Here, another 3. Really push into the pinky edges of the feet. Feel the outer linings of the legs light up for 2. With your next inhale, slowly spin your way back towards the top of the mat, tenting the fingers just in front of those right toes without jumping. Float that left leg up, but again, those beans or blocks or whatever you have might come in handy for the fingertips to rest. Give yourself some room. Maybe palms come to heart center. Maybe you're even extending the fingers straight forwards in front of you. Here for another 3. Another 2. Big bend to the knee to land a high lunge. Send those fingertips up nice and high. Soft gaze, soft shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, palms come down to the mat. Step the right toes back. Option to flow through. Remember, you have knees for support where you need them. Make sure that you're flowing in a way that honors your needs today. And once you're back in down dog, big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Toes turning down to the floor, squaring that hip with the mat. Press weight into that right heel. Keep that left leg strong and straight. Let's pulse up the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, nose to knee to nose, rounded forwards. Inhale, extend through that left heel. Exhale, round it forwards. One more, inhale, extend. Exhale to round. This time, inhale, extend, lift it nice and high, and exhale, step those left toes forwards and set the back knee down. So roll up your mat underneath of your right knee. Give yourself a squishy place to land. Palms to the thigh, press yourself up. Adjust yourself as you need, hands to the hips. Left hip back, right hip forwards. Belly engages, let the hips settle forwards. Hands onto the thigh. Staying here or challenging that hamstring, driving that right heel towards the glute. Staying there, or maybe fingertips lift. Staying there, maybe gaze lifts as well. Here 3. Here 2. And toes down, palms down. Unroll that mat from underneath of you. Rock the hips back, half split. Reminder, you can use your props at any point you need them. Hug that left hip back, the right hip forwards. Flex the toes up towards the shins. You want to get that really strong, long sensation in your posterior chain. 2 more breaths in. Rolling the spine up. Exhale, belly first as you fold. Good, last one, inhale. Exhale, belly first, fold. Good, this time inhale, drag the heels slightly back. Sole of the foot connects with the mat, blocks off to the side. Curl the back toe under and spin your way to the long end of the mat. I'm just gonna face you so you're not staring at my butt. Take an inhale to lengthen halfway, flatten out the spine. Now from there, again, make sure the heels line up, the toes slightly turn in. With your exhale, you're gonna slowly work the heels of the palms back towards the heels of the feet. Now, if you need a little bend in the knees, that's okay. Give yourself room, especially if you're tight in the hamstrings. Give yourself space. Lots of times that means bends in the knees. It's not about having ramrod straight legs as we work into hamstrings. We want to give the body room it needs. Here for another 3. Try to press into the outside edges of the feet so that the glutes light up for 2. And with your next inhale, lengthen the heart forwards. Spin your way to the top of the mat. Tent the fingers just in front of your left toes and without jumping. Float that back leg up. Palms come to heart center. Maybe extend. Here for another 3. And wrapping that right hip down, another 2. How slowly can you bend that front knee? Tap those right toes back, send the fingertips up, find your lift, soft shoulders. And exhale, palms come down to the mat. Stepping it back into high plank, option to flow, option to go straight back to down dog. You decide what it is you need in Vinyasa Flow today. Once you're back in down dog, big breath in. Big breath out. With your next inhale, bend at the knees. Gaze forward, step or fly to the top of the mat. Take an inhale to lengthen halfway. And an exhale to forward fold. Root to rise, sweep the arms up, gazes up. And exhale, palms to heart center. And down by the sides. Sun salutation A, big toes connect. Heels falling slightly apart, shoulders roll down and away from the ears. With your next inhale, sweep the arms up, gazes up. With your exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees as you go. Give your hamstrings room. Inhale to lengthen halfway, puff the heart. And an exhale, palms connect to the mat, step or hop, flow through. Get belly engaged through that whole flow. Shoulders back in that upward facing dog. Pull from the legs, pull from the core. Downward facing dog. Once you've arrived, big breath in. Big breath out. So you can play with different areas to access in the calves if you like. You might try a little pigeon toe, heels a little wider than the toes. Or alternatively, you can take the heels of the feet together, toes out to the side, so it's like a little duck foot. You might feel some different interesting stuff. If you don't like either, that's totally fine. Just stuff to play with if you like. Here 3. Here 2. With your next inhale, bend at the knees, gaze forward, step or float your way to the top of the mat. Take an inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold, soft knees as you fold. Root to rise, sweep the arms up, gazes up, palms connect. And exhaling, palms to heart center. And down by the sides. So, heel toe the feet apart, hip width distance. Hip width distance is 2 of your own fists. That will fit between the 2 big toes. So have a quick look at what that looks like. So it's not too wide, not too short. Weights back into the heels here already. So you can feel the heels a little heavier and the toes a little bit lighter. With your next inhale, sit it nice and low into a chair pose. But in this chair pose, we're going to stretch the fingers straight forwards out of the shoulders. Bring more weight into the heels and squeeze the bum here a lot. So really feel the muscles. You might even use your hands to just check out what's going on. I want you to use those big muscles that you have underneath of you. Bring that natural blood flow in before we stretch for 3, for 2, and an exhale to forward fold. So a couple options here. You're gonna bend the knees a lot so the belly rests against the thighs. And lots of times in yoga I see people with straight legs, and that puts a lot of strain on our low back. So we want to give the body some room by bending the knees as much as you need to connect belly to thighs. So you can stay here, grab opposite elbows if you like, or if you want a little bit more, big toes, grab the big toes with the 2 peace fingers. Palms will face in towards one another. Keep that belly and thigh connection, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, pull yourself down with the strength of those arms. So elbows will come up to the side just like a diamond. Shake out the head, yes or no. And if you have some more space, you can work on straightening those legs slightly. Here for another 4. Big breaths. Again, try to press the feet away from one another so you feel your glutes light up a little bit here. For 3, 2, roll back onto the heels, release the grip of the toes. Take an inhale to lengthen halfway, puff the heart. And exhale, fingertips come down to the mat. Big step back with our right toes. So our right toes are coming to the back of the mat. From there, take a big bend into that right knee, big bend to the left knee, and rise up. So your legs are kind of like in this box-like shape, and you might have to shorten the stance a little bit. So if you do, just go ahead and make that shorter stance now. Hands to the hips for a moment. Left hip back, right hip forwards. Send the fingertips up and find cactus arms. Squeezing the shoulder blades back. Take an inhale to straighten the arms and straighten the legs. And exhale, big bends in both knees. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. And this time, inhale, lift up. Take the hands to the hips. Drop the back heel at 90, or at 45 degrees rather. So if you have a look, your big toe should be pointing to the right corner of your mat. And then take the hands to the hips, left hip back. Right hip forwards, pulling up through the belly and through the heart, inhale. And exhale, forward fold just to halfway. So at this halfway point, recheck in with the thighs. Draw the right hip forwards, the left hip back, and it's though you're tearing your mat apart between your 2 feet. So back leg super active. You can stay here. If you have some more space, you might fold further. You might use those props under your fingers, or you can even play with the shoulder opener if you like. See what feels good. You can play with reverse prayer, lots of options. Favor the inside edge of that left big toe. Here for 3, for 2. Squeeze the legs, rise all the way up. Take the hands to the hips here, and you're just gonna spin your way to face the long end of the mat once more. You may have to open up the stance a little bit wider if it's a little too short for a wide-legged forward fold. Heels match up, toes turn in, big breath in. And exhale, forward fold, soften down. So from here, let's take the toes slightly outwards, heels slightly inwards. Big breath in, lengthen the back. Exhale, big bend in towards that left thigh. Good, inhale, coming back through center. Big bend in towards that right thigh. Now you might Skandasana from side to side if you wish. You can bring your palms off the mat if you wish. Flow in a way that makes sense to you, what you need today, what your energy levels are at. Here for another 4, another 3, another 2, and finishing off so you feel balanced on both sides. And once you do, take an inhale to come back through the center, turning those toes inwards, lengthen up the back. Exhale, spin your way to the top of the mat. Now again, tenting fingers just in front of the toes. You're gonna float the back leg up off of the mat. Bend the knee at 90 degrees, sole of the foot pressing up towards the ceiling. And again, we're gonna punch a hole in the ceiling with our heel for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that squeeze, maybe fingertips come off the floor, maybe palms to heart center, staying here, or maybe even extending the fingertips. Really drive up through that heel, strong through the glutes for 3, for 2. Step it forwards into chair pose. Squeeze the legs together, weights in the heels, soften through the face. Another 4, 3, 2, Exhale, forward fold. Good. Take an inhale to lengthen halfway, puff the heart. And exhale, palms connect to the mat. Step, hop, flow. Option to vinyasa or option to downward facing dog. Always choose for you. See where you're at. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Child's pose briefly. Come down to the knees. Weights back into the heels. Forehead melts down to the mat. Take a moment to breathe. Have a sip of water. Whatever it is that you need to reset before we hit that second side. Really nice work, everyone. Take one more big breath in. And one more big breath out. With your next inhale, gazing forwards at the fingers, float up into your tabletop, adjust the knees, curl the toes under, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. With your next inhale, bend at the knees, gaze forwards, step or float to the top of the mat. Take an inhale to lengthen half stance. And an exhale to fold, soft knees. Root to rise, sweep the arms up, gazes up. And an exhale, palms to heart center and down by the sides. So again, heel to those feet apart, hip width distance, 2 fists that can fit between those 2 big toes. Have a quick look at what that measurement looks like. Weights in the heels, toes are light. Let's take one more moment, breathe in. And breathe out. With your next inhale, sit nice and low. Utkatasana, but instead it's more of a squat. So let's take the fingertips in line with the shoulders, weights in the heels, squeeze the bum, squeeze the hamstring, feel what's underneath of you. Here for 4. Really good, bring that natural blood flow in. 3, 2, slow forward fold, not running away from those legs. So again, a few options here, bend the knees, so belly connects to the thighs. You can either reach for opposite elbows, big toe grab, or maybe sliding the palms underneath the soles of the feet. So if you're doing that variation, make sure those toes come all the way to the wrist creases, and then you can even roll a little bit of weight into the toes, and the action's like you're trying to pull the hands out from underneath of the feet. So you get a really nice wrist opener here too. We spend most of our time in yoga with our wrists in flex, so this is a really good opportunity to balance. Good, 4. Still again, pressing to the outside edges of those feet. 3, 2. Roll back onto the heels, release the hands. Take an inhale, lengthen half stance. And an exhale to fold, fingertips down to the mat, this time taking those left toes to the back of the mat. So you might have a little bit of a shorter stance than usual. Big bend into that left knee, big bend to the right knee, and rise all the way up. Really good. Soft shoulders away from the ears, arms in a cactus. Take a big breath in first, and a big exhale. Inhale, straighten arms and straighten legs. Exhale, big bends as you drop it low, both knees bent. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to drop it low. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, drop it low. This time, inhale, reach and stay there, hands to the hips. Drop your back heel down to the floor, 45 degrees. So your left toes point to that left corner of your mat. Hands to the hips to draw the right hip back, the left hip forwards. Take a big breath here. And exhale, fold just to halfway. At that halfway mark again, right hip back, left hip forwards. Either staying here or playing with any other variation that you had on the last side. Whatever floats your boat here, whatever feels good on this side. Knowing that the sides may differ, left and right, especially if you have any old or nagging injuries. You always want to make allowances for the body that we have today. Not the one we are expecting or the one we wish we had, but the one that is available here in the present. Another 3. Another 2. One more breath in. One more exhale. Now squeeze the legs as you rise all the way up, taking the hands to the hips, and then spin your way to the long end of your mat once more. You may have to open up that stance a little bit wider. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the palms together. If you can't quite make that work, reach for opposite elbows instead. Take an inhale to roll the shoulders back. And now big bends in the knees as you forward fold. Let this just be all about your shoulders and your spine. Giving yourself that room that you need in the back to really let it elongate and drop down. If it feels good, you can have a little sway of the knuckles from left to right, but just move very slowly. Give your body body the time that it needs to tell you if it likes this or not. Another 3. Another 2. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Take an inhale to lengthen out the back first. Take care to bring hands to the low back and then down to the floor in front of you. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to spin your way back to the top of the mat. Now fingers tent just in front of the toes. Float the back leg up. Bend the knee at 90 degrees. Sole of the foot pressing up to the ceiling. And again, we're going to punch out the ceiling with our foot. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that squeeze.